Black Friday is not designed to save you money. It is designed to get you to spend more money. And there's a lot of psychological tricks that they use and inflated prices that make this pretty much a scam. I've been really diving down the rabbit hole recently, and Black Friday this year is going to be kind of insane. Americans spent $10.8 billion online on Black Friday in 2024. That's a 10.2% increase from the year before. That's just the number for online. Globally, people spent $74.4 billion in just 24 hours. That's literally more than some countries' entire GDP. Like, we are talking serious money here. 31% of Americans actually plan to spend more money this year. So we're not like learning and evolving. We are just getting worse and getting scammed more. So here is where things get really interesting. There was a report by Which, it's like a consumer group, and they looked at a bunch of Black Friday deals and they found that 86% of them were actually cheaper at some point during the previous 6 months. 86%. So that giant deal that you're super excited about, it was actually cheaper like a month ago or 2 months ago or 4 months ago. 86% of the time, it's not even a deal. What retailers do is they actually just jack up the prices a few weeks before Black Friday, and then they discount them to pretty much the exact same price that they were before. Now, the average discount on Black Friday is 28%, which sounds pretty good, but the question that nobody asks is 28% off of what? Like, I bought this jacket 5 years ago, I think it was, when I was going to Black Friday. I used to stay up on Thanksgiving night. We'd go out Black Friday shopping all night. I got this jacket. I thought it was a deal. And then I actually went back to the same outlet like a couple weeks later, and the jacket was cheaper than when I got it at this huge deal that I was like, oh, this is a steal. I have to get it. And it was cheaper. This is real stuff. If you actually start tracking the prices, this is really real stuff. So this is where we get into some crazy psychological trips that they are playing on you, and they do work probably on you. I've been bamboozled many times. So there's this thing called loss aversion. It's basically that losing $20 feels worse psychologically than gaining $20 feels good. Like, it's not even close. And retailers know this, and that's why they want to make you feel like you're going to miss out on this deal if you don't do it right now. And it works. 60% of people make reactive purchases within 24 hours of experiencing FOMO, and 14% reported significant fear of missing out on the best prices, which sounds kind of crazy, but I've been that person. I'm sure you have too. And there was actually research done that 40% of people feel angry when they miss out on a Black Friday deal. That, again, mathematically was probably not a deal. But this is where they move to the scarcity tactics. Now, you've seen this before. This is the whole, there's only 5 in stock. It's going out in 2 hours. You got to do it right now. If you leave this page, this deal goes away. Probably seen that before. And there's a reason why they do that. There are studies that show that people who see something as scarce value it 20% more than if it wasn't. Although it's different, because this cup right here, there's only 3 of them ever made. So that's why I paid $96 for it. But if there was a bunch of them made, then I wouldn't be, willing to do that. That's actually not true. But you get the idea. But here's the thing. You've all seen those only 5 left. It goes away after you leave this page and all that type of stuff. And you've come back later and it's still been there. We know this isn't true, and yet it works so well that they still do it. And I know that I've fallen for this as well. But how they get really dirty with this is the anchoring effect. Retailers will show the original price, which is usually inflated. They jack it up a little bit. And then they'll show that next to the sales price. Usually it's a different color. So you see that it used to be $999 and now it's only $599. That's a deal. That's actually significantly less. Can I afford not to buy that? You see, the brain anchors at the higher number, and that makes whatever the lower number is feel cheaper. But the thing is, if you come back to that store in a month, or you went there a month ago, it was probably $550 or very similar to what it is. But when you are anchored off a higher number, we just have this instinctual reaction to not want to miss out on this crazy deal. Like, that thing's going to cost you hundreds of dollars more if you don't buy it right now. Seems crazy not to do it. It's just anchoring. This is actually the same thing that they do with the small, medium, and large. Generally, the large is like only 25 cents more than the medium, which is only 25 cents more than the small. And you don't look at the overall prices. Why are they all $5? You just look at like, oh, it's only a little bit more to go to that. And it's just because they're using price anchoring on you. And this is something that I can't stand. In fact, if you want to save some money and maybe even earn more and invest better, you could subscribe and hit the bell for this channel so you actually see future videos from me. And the best thing is it's totally free and should save you money or make you money IRL when I'm just yelling. Don't buy that. do not do it. Hit the bell. I don't know. We're trying to hit 750,000 subscribers. I appreciate all of you letting me nerd out about this stuff, but let's move into the bandwagon effect. Honestly, this might be the most powerful one. This is where you see the news stories, the advertisements, the social media posts around Black Friday. And that creates the bandwagon effect where you see it everywhere. Everybody else is going out and spending their money, or at least that's what the ads are saying. And so you feel like that's just the thing to do. It'll be kind of fun. We'll all go together. Everybody else is there. It'll be a good time. Or maybe I'll just stay home and buy a few things. Everybody's buying stuff. It's okay. 72% of shoppers made purchases online in 2024, and 39% of shopping actually happened before November 29th. So it's like hardly even Black Friday anymore. It's like Black November now. Things just keep getting earlier and later. And here is where it connects to something that I've talked about a lot on this channel, which is frugal living. Like I used to train myself to try not to miss deals, to really keep an eye on things, to save money where I can. And because we see that as a good thing, they use that against us. But this is where I'm a really big believer that everything popular is wrong. And if there is a bandwagon, I'm just going the other way. If the average American is in credit card debt, they have a house and a car that they don't actually own, they are financing every part of their lives, they're overweight, they're stressed out, they're not happy with their job. Pretty much everything the average American does is not something that I want for myself. And if everybody's doing Black Friday, that should be a sign that it's not something that is going to make your life better. All right, let's talk about for a second what people actually spend money on. 59% of people purchase nice to have items for others. 53% purchase those items for themselves. These are not necessities. These are nice to haves. It changes your life in no way whatsoever. It's fine if that is intentional, but most of the time it's not. You buy this out of a sense of compulsion or because you think it's a deal. The most common spending range, get this, is $300 to $499. And 25% of people spent between $500 and $999. How much does the average American have in their savings account? And here's what really got me. Buy now, pay later spending hit $686 million. That is up 9% from the previous year. So people are literally buying nice to have items on credit with money that they don't have. They cannot afford this stuff, but it's on sale. It's honestly, like my mom used to say, you can go broke saving money. And a lot of people are. But the crazy thing is that's just one side of the coin. If you think about the opportunity cost, this is shocking. Let's say that the average person spends about $400 on Black Friday, which is honestly kind of conservative. If you're in your 20s and you invested that $400 at a 10% return, which is kind of like the average of the stock market over the last however long, by the time you're 60, you would have $177,000 instead of one day buying nice to have stuff. 177,000. So every year you're literally choosing a crappy China TV over being able to retire probably years earlier. Isn't that like stupid? So as a money nerd, this is kind of how I handle Black Friday now. First of all, I use the 30-day rule. So I'm not going to buy anything on Black Friday unless I had it on a list for the previous 30 days, right? That way I'm not impulse buying. If I want things for Christmas, a new toaster, whatever it is, if it's actually on sale, it's actually a good deal, and I had it written down somewhere, totally fine to buy it. That's great. Take advantage of it. But the next thing I do is price track throughout the year. If I know that I need a new toaster at some point pretty soon, I'm going to start keeping an eye on it. And if you haven't had it on that list for 30 days, you're not going to know if it's a good deal or not. 86% of the time, it's not actually a good deal, whatever. But if you start tracking, you can actually see when good deals happen and buy things intentionally with your money, which you traded your life for. So you should be intentional with it. Next up is I train myself to be anti-FOMO, right? If I can't afford to buy something full price, I'm not going to buy it just because it's on sale. In fact, I try not to look at the sales because I hardly ever buy anything. Just because it's on sale has no effect on whether I get something now or not. If I need something, I really need it, I'm willing to pay full price for it, even if I miss out on a lot, because the amount of stuff that I don't buy way more than makes up for like a 10 or 20% difference in the price of something. There'll always be another sale. It's not going to be that big of a difference. Don't stress about it. And then of course you need a needs versus want filter. Like we said, 59% of the purchases for other people, half the stuff for yourself is nice to have. This is not necessities to be alive. And I'm guessing that number is probably much higher than that. But you need so few things to actually be happy and be alive that actually will add value to your life for more than a day. And so when you put that filter on, the things you can walk through aisles of screaming deals for Black Fridays and have no interest in it whatsoever. Is it a need? Is it a want? What do you need? You need freedom, you need health, you don't need another sweater. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm totally anti Black Friday. There are good deals on Black Friday occasionally. And if I have the cash to buy it, if it adds value to my life, if it's a tool that's going to make me money or save me money, I am totally happy to spend my money on Black Friday. But don't fall for the trap. If you want to learn some extremely boring money habits that actually allowed me to leave my job at 24 and reach financial freedom at 27, check out this video right here. Kind of breaks those down. It's the boring stuff that generally works the best. And I'll see you next week.